Welcome back to another video. We are in the Open Ultra League today, and we're going to be switching up the teams. We're going to be featuring the Cresslia paired with the Cobalion and Tapu Fini. Here we are met with a Swampert. This Swampert is going to be staying in, throwing Hydro Cannon, and then they decided to switch out into the Greedent. That Greedent is met with our Cobalion, so we have a really positive matchup. You can notice that our Cresslia is running the Future Sight, so it wouldn't have been able to beat that Swampert in the front as easy if it had the Grass Knot, but we're trying to be sneaky with this Cresslia, and we're trying to surprise people with some moves here. We're going to be undercharging to just get a little bit of energy so that we can throw back at that Swampert. It ends up allowing us to get to this Sacred Sword and possibly another Sacred Sword. Okay, perfect. So a little bit of an undercharge right there allowed us to get to an extra Sacred Sword here. And now we know that this Swampert has a ton of energy. They counter swap, and then we switch into our Tapu Fini, which has a great matchup against that Shadow Gliscor. So GG's to our opponent right there. On to the next game. This team here, you can also think about it as an ABB team. You could try to think of it as like Cresslia weak to the Charizard, and then we kind of have some play in the back with our Cobalion and Tapu Fini to deal with the potential Charizards. Here, unfortunately, this is a core breaker for our entire team here. We go for the chip damage, and then we kind of just switch into the Cobalion. We decided to go in the Cobalion because we didn't want to use this Cobalion later, potentially against the Escavalier. So, kind of a weird situation here. We're basically kind of just sacrificing this Cobalion. Here, we were hoping that they would bait, but our opponent ends up just going for the Shadow Balls and completely wipes out our Cobalion. We really don't have a good counter to this Jellicent, especially since we don't have Grass Knot, so this is a weakness, and we are paying the price for it right now. This Jellicent is destroying our entire team. Our Cresslia is no longer healthy. It's basically at like 1 HP. This Escavalier is doing a decent amount of damage to our Tapu Fini. We did have to tank the first draw run, and Escavalier is able to get to another aerial ace. So, unfortunately for us, we have to double shield here and just hope for the best in the end. And wow, we are ran into with Giratina. We just ran into every single core breaker. This Giratina is also really bad for our backline. So it would have been really tough to come back from this match anyways. The Giratina running the Shadow Claw version is able to do good damage against the Cresslia and our Cobalion. So not really sure what we could have done differently right there, but that's how it goes sometimes. So we'll keep an eye out for that. We'll see if Jellicents keep popping up. But here we go again. Giratina, kind of terrible for us. We're just going to stay in. This is probably our best situation for a Giratina. We'd rather see it here. Technically, we are able to get to these Moon Blasts, but this Giratina is also running these Shadow Sneaks, so that's even worse for us. Because sometimes the Giratinas could be running Dragon Claw and Ancient Power, but this is actually double trouble for us. And then they have another core breaker to the team here. This Tentacruel is going to do really well against this Tapu Fini. Honestly, we didn't expect it to be a Tentacruel. In hindsight, we probably should have whittled it down with the Cobalion, even though we wouldn't have been able to do super effective fast moves, but we would have had the potential Stone Edges. And now this Tentacruel is able to get to a ton of Scalds. Let's see if they are able to throw another Scald here. We do shield the Scald, which is great. And then here, we got a little bit greedy. We went for the Sacred Sword to try to take it out with the extra farm down here, but unfortunately, they are able to get to another move, so we have to double shield here, and then we just gotta hope for the best. And they revealed, is that a Poliwrath there? Yeah, this Poliwrath is pretty dominant against our Cobalion. So they ended up having double water in the back. This is a bad situation for a Cresslia that doesn't have Grass Knot, so we are paying the price for not having Grass Knot in this scenario. Double water in the back, pretty tough, especially with the Tentacruel and Jellicents floating around. We are seeing a little bit of a theme right now. We are pretty significantly weak to Jellicent and Tentacruel in the back here. So if you're seeing a bunch of those around, maybe this team isn't quite for you. But we're gonna continue going on to see what we can do with this team here. Another Escavalier, a ton of Giratina and Escavaliers right now. So Escavalier has a bunch of weird moves. We're going to let the first one go. It ends up being the Mega Horn. That Mega Horn did a good chunk of damage because it is a stab move. We're just going to throw Moonblast here, and we have to potentially shield here. Our opponent ends up CMP entire our move here, so not a great situation for us here. And we don't really have a situation in the back where we can try to catch this drill run, so we just decided to let it go. And then we're going to go and just farm down. That was a good farm down by us. Huge energy that we can throw back towards this. They actually have the Escavalier. No, sorry, that's the Excadrill, excuse me. This Excadrill is going to be tanking a lot of Sacred Swords. Looks like they tank one and then they decided to throw a move. Here we're just going to let it go because our... they actually throw a Rock Slide. That's very interesting. Looks like this Cobalion is going to have to throw this Sacred Sword. We do get the last shield. And now we're looking at a very, very good situation now. So we're going to be able to get to another Sacred Sword to throw back at this Walrein. This Walrein has to tank it. It has no more shields. And now we switch into the Tapu Fini. And that is GG's right there. So kind of a interesting team here with the Escavalier, with the Walrein, and the Excadrill. Unfortunately for them, our Cobalion was their core breaker. So we're having a bunch of teams and a bunch of core breakers all over the place right now. That one, we did not see the Giratina or like Jellicent. So it makes sense that we were able to win that game right there. And let's see what we have here. Poliwrath, a great situation for us. Ends up switching into the Charizard, which is fine. This Charizard is going to be throwing a Blast Burn. Okay. And then we're going to have to throw right before they get to another move. They decided to let it go. And they actually have the Trevenant, another core breaker to the team. A lot of ghosts, a lot of these ghosts and Giratinas floating around right now is unfortunate for us. We're gonna see if we can wiggle out of the situation. It's not looking great because this Trevenant is a core breaker for the entire team. And it does have the really powerful Shadow Ball. So we just shielded the first Shadow Ball, which is great. And right now they are shielding all of our Stone Edges. Will they shield here? And they do shield there too. So unfortunate for us, this is not looking great. We are able to get all their shields down, but they have such a good advantage right now. They go for the Shadow Ball. Will this Future Sight KO a Ultra League Poliwrath? Unfortunately, not the case. This Poliwrath is super tanky. Maybe if it was Shadow, we would have had a better chance, but because of that, we are going to lose this game. So GG's to our opponent right there. A little bit of a tough series with some of these core breakers, but keep that in mind. If you are using this team. So let us know about this team if you can use it, and let us know if you enjoy the video.